Welcome back. Today we're looking at an expose of the DOENUT Factory YouTube channel host. Specifically how his obsession with patterns, gematria, symbols, seems to fuel content based on projection and paranoia.
And seeking authority, too. It's a really interesting piece.
It is. Very strong analysis overall. Let's jump right in. The writer points out, quite effectively, how the host uses deep, technical knowledge, or claims of it. Things like camera apps, file formats, physics.
Yeah, around that Charlie Kirk footage especially.
Exactly. He leans on that expertise to build his case.
Okay, but here's maybe the first area we could push on a bit. The draft talks about projection of paranoia, but does it fully connect how he uses that specific technical language to, well, basically manufacture his credibility? Is it just projection or is it performance?
That's a great point. And that's our first major opportunity, I think. The expose should more robustly connect his, let's call it self-professed technical skill, to this apparent need for intellectual authority. Right now, the weakness might be that the psychological angle, the authority seeking, feels a bit separate from the examples of technical claims. They run parallel almost.
Right. So the suggestion here would be to weave that psychological critique directly into the discussion of his technical points.
Show how the language itself, the precise, expert-sounding talk, is actually the armor, the foundation for his whole pattern-seeking thing. It makes him seem like a unique insider.
Someone who gets the tradecraft of the supposed conspirators. Yeah, that vocabulary is the performance.
So let's make that concrete. The writer gives good examples, like him insisting that Kirk footage had to be 240 frames per second because of projectile spacing he calculated.
Or knowing about Blackmagic camera, or MPG transport streams MPEG-TS, right? Which he then uses to argue the person filming knew something fast was about to happen, had foreknowledge.
Yeah. When he spends, 5 minutes explaining why a standard MOV file is really an MPG transport stream you need VLC for, that's not evidence for the conspiracy itself.
No, it's evidence for his unique ability, his competence. He's basically saying, only I can unlock this.
And that's the refinement needed. It's not about proving facts with the tech talk. It's about establishing his authority, using technical superiority as a kind of rhetorical shortcut. It's like, if you, the viewer, don't get 240 FPS, well, you can't really challenge his conclusion then, can you?
Exactly. It's a barrier, a psychological one. The audience is supposed to think, wow, he understands file streams, so his weird gematria stuff must also be super insightful.
Right. The tech stuff becomes the license to make the conspiratorial leap. If the writer integrates that connection, the whole analysis of his performance, his authority-seeking, becomes much stronger.
Okay, so that idea of manufactured authority, it flows nicely into the next point, right? Which is what he does once he's sort of established that platform.
Yes, the symbolic overload, the sheer volume of patterns.
Yeah, the expose highlights this, how he links completely unrelated things using gematria, numerology, and some pretty weak word associations. Kirk becomes church, becomes circle, Circe. Charizard, really?
Yeah. But just listing it as a bias maybe undersells the effect, The weakness here is that the density itself, the sheer volume of connections, is the tool he uses to create a sense of certainty. It's not just bias, it's a rhetorical weapon.
I totally agree. The critique needs to zero in on that deliberate chaining of gematria and symbols. It's an overload tactic, designed to create this feeling of irrefutable proof. The goal isn't clarity, it's overwhelm.
Okay, so the suggestion then is pretty clear. Dedicate a specific section to analyzing the cumulative effect. Not just that he makes connections, but how the density works on the listener.
Show how it preempts skepticism. Makes it seem like there's just too much there for it not to be real. An undeniable hidden code.
We'd be analyzing the technique itself, proof by volume, essentially. How he uses complexity to seem smart.
And the examples are right there in the submission. Think about all the 33 connections he makes.
Oh yeah, JFK's date, Trump is master builder, that case number, the Oregon Ducks somehow, the 33rd parallel through Dallas and Phoenix.
When you pile up 5 or 6 things like that, all lending on 33, your first instinct isn't to check each one meticulously. It's to think, okay, maybe there is something weird going on here.
And that is where the manipulation happens. It's the weight of it all.
Same with the 88s. Trump's Mercury birthday, Charlie Kirk's birthday being 8,800 days after 9/11. I mean, these are so specific, almost fetishistic calculations.
They don't just suggest a conspiracy, they imply this incredible, intricate design behind it all, which, again, elevates the decoder.
Becomes this Charlotte's Web ritual. It's just layer upon layer.
The sheer density is meant to break your will to argue, right?
Exactly. It reframes the whole thing. It's not about whether the connections are real or meaningful. It's that the act of finding so many connections, the performance of diligence, that's the persuasive move.
It's like an information cascade, designed to make you feel overwhelmed, maybe a bit dumb if you don't see it, and ultimately just accept it, because questioning it feels like too much work.
He's not proving a conspiracy. He's proving his own tireless ability to find patterns. That's the real showcase.
And that diligence, that performance, that's the product, which leads us right into the final piece here.
Yeah, sharpening the main thesis. This isn't just about patterns, it's about paranoia as a promotional product.
The writer nails the idea that he's a performer feeding an audience's appetite for mystery. That's strong. But the link to money, to subscriptions, merch, it needs to be explicit, stark even.
That's the slight weakness, maybe. The conclusion about selling paranoia is there, but it needs to show, step by step, how the claims of persecution directly feed into the marketing. It shouldn't be implied. It needs to be laid bare. Crisis, then cash request. Right next to each other.
Okay, so the suggestion, analyze how he weaponizes these narratives of suppression. Social engineering, digital paths, algorithms, X is censoring me.
And presents financial support as the only way to fight back. Subscriptions and merch become acts of resistance against this massive conspiracy he's supposedly exposing.
The source material offers great examples. We just need to put them side by side. Contrast the victim claims, "My channel got obliterated," or "Something on X is stopping this truth bomb," with the immediate next sentence.
Which is often, support my work, right?
Yeah. Promote the $100 challenge to refute the evidence, which is genius marketing, by the way. Sets an impossible bar, gets attention.
Urges listeners to hit up his Patreon, his research society, to get the real stuff, the banned content.
And the merch, the IlluminatiComic.com, the occult calendar, it's all right there.
It creates this perfect loop, doesn't it? If the world is trying to silence him, then paying him is the logical way for his followers to resist. He literally packages the paranoia.
America oppressed by the underground occult and puts a price tag on it. Exclusive intelligence, yours for only $10 a month.
The persecution is the sales funnel. The scarier the conspiracy he paints, the more essential his paid content becomes.
By really cementing that transactional piece, showing the direct line from "they're after me" to "pay me," the writer fully proves the thesis. He's a performer, monetizing the anxiety he creates.
It just lays the whole model bare. Step 1, create fake technical authority. Step 2, overwhelm with symbolic density to make people feel certainty. Step 3, use the "they're suppressing me" narrative to turn that feeling into revenue.
It's a business model, basically, built on paranoia.
Yeah. It's really sharp analysis in the original piece, honestly. Just needs these few tweaks to maximize the impact.
Agreed. This has been really productive. The groundwork in the expose is excellent.
Definitely. So for the listener, the 3 key suggestions to make this even stronger are: first, really integrate those technical claims into the psychological analysis. Show the jargon as a performance tool for authority.
Second, focus on the density of the gematria and symbols. Treat that overload as the core rhetorical tactic for creating false certainty. Don't just list examples, analyze the effect of the volume.
And third, hammer home that performer thesis by explicitly linking the persecution claims to the promotional asks. Show the paranoia to product pipeline in action.
Make those changes and this expose will be incredibly powerful. We absolutely invite you to send the revised version back our way when it's ready.